Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Mitzi, and this is Mitzi. Let's think about it. Today we are thinking about parenting adult children. Oh, isn't that a thinker? And luckily, I brought Melissa back again because I enjoyed her conversation when we talked about blending cultures and lasting marriage. And now we're diving deep into the rabbit hole of parenting adult children. Oh my goodness, how do we do with this? What does it make you guys think about? Well, luckily, Melissa's really going to help us think about this in a new way. So thank you so much, Melissa, for returning back and coming on and talking about parenting adult children. So let's just dive in. What does this make you think about?
Oh my gosh. It's a whole, like you said, it's a rabbit hole because nobody prepares you for launching your kids out into the world and then not having control over what they do and it's like, oh my gosh, it's like a whole nother realm. It's like scary, but it's also fun too because then you get to see how they become an adult and you get to see things that maybe you've instilled in them. They go out and they go, you know what? Mama was right. Or you know what? You weren't right, but here's why. And they show you and you learn from them as much as they learn from you. So that's very important.
Oh, yes, I love that. How you learn. I think that's one thing that I'm teaching my mom is that learning aspect because certain times I encourage her, I motivate her, I lift her up, and I help her see things differently versus what was implemented in her mind when she was
Mhm.
raising us. You know what I mean? It's two different avenues. So it is beautiful to know that your daughters are also doing the same thing by providing you this wisdom that you didn't even know that you were going to come across. So I'm pretty sure a lot of parents that are listening in are really trying to know, how do you learn to let go?
It's hard. It's very hard. I mean, even I think at the very beginning, I didn't let go,
Mhm.
and it kind of made our relationship suffer a little bit.
Mm.
That's when I learned, you know what, you have to pick your battles, and they're adults. And yeah, if they need us, they're going to come to us. But there are also times when you know that they're on their breaking point, and you're like, no, I'm sorry, I'm your mom. For me, and I phrased it as I'm not trying to get in your business, but for my peace of mind, because when you come out as saying that it's not about you but it's about me and how I'm feeling, they kind of can flip the switch. Like my one of my daughters was going through something very emotional, and I had drove up to see her, and she was like, why did you come? And I'm like, I came for my peace of mind, not
Mm.
for you, but for my peace of mind. And once she realized that I didn't come to be nosy or to try to instigate or try to get into anything else, but I came because I needed that or I would not be able to go to sleep at night. Once
Mm.
she realized that, she was like, well, maybe it wasn't so selfish for her to come. Maybe I didn't want her here, but because she came because she needed it for her, even though underlying you, of course, we're moms, we all want to make sure that our kids are okay and we want to help when we can. But when you phrase it like that, they tend to take out that judgment mode and take out that, being angry with you mode when you phrase it like, oh, okay, it's about me. It's not about everything that you're going through, even though technically it was about everything she's going through. But when you play that little mind, I wouldn't say mind game, but when you just turn it around so they can see a different perspective, it helps a lot. I mean, they've done it to me as well. So I think I learned that as well from them. But I learned it too when I was teaching. Like if one of our principals, if you went up to her and said, hey, what are you going to do about this problem? The principal was shut down. But if you went up there and say, hey, there's a problem, what can we do together to make this problem go away or to help ease the situation? She responded. So I learned that hey, yeah, there's an issue. We need to talk about it, but we need both of us so we can resolve it together instead of, oh, there's a problem, what are you going to do to make it better? Because that's how I was brought up. I was brought up, you caused this problem, what are you going to do to make it better? And the child was always at fault, whereas, as parents we all make mistakes. Even as
Yeah.
parents of adult kids we make mistakes, and
Yeah.
so we have to be willing to say, hey, you know what, I screwed up.
Yes, and I think that brings a sense of realizing that we're just trying to figure it out together.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And I love the fact of playing with your words because it really is empowering how how we choose our words because somebody can shut down automatically when we feel like you're nagging, you're being mean, you're just ridiculing me. You know, and all of these negative emotions, it can really shut somebody down where it's like, I don't even want to deal with you. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, I don't even want you in my life right now. But it's when you bring back, like, I care, I love you. And despite whatever that you're going through, I'm still gonna love you. I mean, it brings back this piece of just like, okay, I'm still gonna be loved. I know I messed up. I know there's another way around it, but at least that I'm still loved. Because the hardest thing for a child is to know that your parents don't love you anymore because of whatever action that you did or done, you know? And to know that they still love you and still care about you and just they just want to be in your circle in your space is heartwarming because it's like, oh, well then all this hoopla that we're making up in our mind is not valid because the truth is in the pudding. You know what I mean? The truth is right here. My mama's here. She came out of her way, drove X amount of miles just to come see me to make sure that she had the peace of mind. I mean, that's satisfying. That's like if a child was out partying but didn't have a way home, what are you gonna do? You're gonna call your mom hoping that she'll come pick you up despite the fact you weren't supposed to be at that party. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
at least she knows that you're safe. I mean, it's that essence. And I think you breaking it down that it is hard to let go is truly something that you learn along the way with each stage of your child's life because I mean my children my boys are still very young, they're just 3 and 2, so you know what I mean, I'm still in that little stage of that they're clingy and they want me, but then the next is going to school and the next is learning how to let them feel pain, feel joy, feel rejection, feel all these feelings so that they can discern for themselves what it means, you know? So it's like how do you advise your child, your adult child versus how you advised your child when they were younger as like teens or as a young child?
It's hard, especially when you see they're going through a really rough road. You have to wait for them to come to you, though, because if you start butting in and start having your opinions like this, and this, then it tends to cause hard feelings, and they feel like you don't think they have a brain in your head, even though you
Mm,
know they have a brain in their head. So you kind of have to sit back and maybe gently do some like, hey, maybe this suggestion, but don't say, hey, you should do this or you should do that. But let them be your sounding, let, well, hold on. Let you be the sounding board for your kids. I got that backwards when I first started saying this. I was like, hold on, that didn't sound right. But you be the sounding board for your kids. Let them come to you if they have problems. And it's hard because, especially when you're a parent and you've been all in and that's who you are. And that's, my greatest joy is my 3 girls, raising them to be successful adults. But now the adulthood, you're like, okay, what's next? What do I do now? That's when you start focusing on maybe not so much getting involved with them, but getting involved in things that you love to do and going out with your friends or going out with your husband, rediscovering your romance with your husband or your significant other, and just taking that focus all the time on your kids. Because I think that's very hard because when we're parenting, that our main focus is our kids, 100%. Once you become a mom, most moms, or dads, I should say, their focus are their kids. Either the dads are normally out there earning the money or, going out of the way. They're not as much emotionally bonded with the kids because, the masculinity thing, men aren't supposed to cry and things like that. You know all about that. But, but with the moms, it's like we're emotionally bonded, especially if you're moms of girls or moms of, when you're mom, you have mama boys and you've raised them and you've grown up and you've done all this stuff with them. And now it's like, okay, now you're out in the world. What am I supposed to do now?
yeah, yeah,
And so you have
exactly.
to learn to kind of invest in yourself so you're not investing so much in your kids. And then that way it gives you a chance to form friendships with your kids, to form a different type of relationship because they don't need that everyday mom, 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 mom advice from now on.
Yes, yes. And I think that's beautiful because, as a child, when my mom used to say, I'm not your friend, I'm your mother. You need to listen to me. Oh
Hmm.
my goodness, the
Yep.
amount of times my mom told me that. But now that I'm an adult, I get to actually have a friendship with my mom. Now I get to actually be honest with her and be real with her and really break it down to her in a manner where it's like, listen. I'm not seeing you as a mother right now. I'm seeing you as a friend. Let me talk to you as a friend, how I would talk to friends. And
Yep.
I sometimes have to break it down to her, like how I'm approaching her so that she can manage her point of view in a different way as well. Because when she comes with at me as a friend and she tells me things that I don't want to hear as a daughter, but I want to hear as a friend, then I
Mhm.
have to reposition myself too. And I think repositioning yourself really allows you to receive what the other person has to say as a human being. Because at the end of the day, we all are human beings, and it doesn't matter what the title is. It matters how we feel. You know what I mean? We're feeling creatures. We emotionally feel everything that's going on with us, and then we think about things. You know what I mean? So we have to just really embody that, and then when as a parent when you finally have that moment where your child is adult, I love the fact that you said about discovering yourself again, because when you are a mother you get so invoked into your child's life, because that stigma of, oh, if I don't care or if I'm not involved, then people are going to see me as an insignificant mother or a part-time mom, or you know what I mean? Why, or that I don't even care because I let them do whatever they want. You know what I mean? There's taboos like, oh my goodness, it's a damn if you do, damn if you don't motion when your
Yep.
child is under 18. It's a really hard time in that time frame. But it's like once they get to 18, you can loosen up a little bit. You know what I mean? You can let your shoulders down and be like,
Yep.
hey, I don't gotta do that for you right now because I gotta do this for myself and you're self-sufficient so you could do this. I mean, that's the reason why I made sure that you knew all of this. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like
Yep.
that's the whole goal. So when your daughters turn 18, was it like a real like cut and paste, like a whole different avenue for you, or did it slowly transition where they slowly had their independence and you slowly started to let go?
It was slowly. I think it's because the two older ones were in college. Now the younger one, it wasn't as slowly. It was so funny. We just had this conversation before I came on about how we were kind of stricter with her because of the stuff that her sisters had pulled that they try to get away with. And she's like, yeah, I didn't get that. I didn't get the easy going. Um, but it was slowly, especially with the oldest one, because when she went off to college, it was like she was still like there was things that she wanted to do and things that she wanted to experience. But we told her like she moved in with her boyfriend after the first year of college. They're married now. So they've been together for like 12 years. So they're married. But we said, if you're going to do that, then you're going to have to go out and you're going to have to pay for your own apartment. We're not paying for you to live with your boyfriend. That's the no. And so that's what we did. And when Michaela decided she wanted to move off campus, the middle daughter, and she wanted to live in an apartment, we're like, okay, you know what? If you want to be a grown up and live in your own apartment, then you're going to have to pay the bills for your apartment, even though, we still paid like car payment and we still paid like their cell phone because they were on our plan, until they got out of college, we were doing that. But not car payment, insurance, because their cars were paid for. But, it's just, you have to pick and choose your battles. And it's like, one of my daughters loves to get tattoos. And we're like, okay, if you want a tattoo, you're paying for it. We're not paying for it. And I remember a conversation I had with my sister who has kids the same age as my two oldest daughters. And she was like, you're going to let her do that? I said, if she's 18 years old, what am I to say she can't do that? Because that's her body. It's what she wants to do. Let her have it. I'm not paying for it. So I don't particularly like all her tattoos. Some of them are beautiful, some of them aren't, some of them are for stupid reasons. But I still not say allow, I don't want to say allow or let because it sounds like I'm still trying to mother them, but I've still, what's the word I'm looking for? Just letting her be who she wants to be,
Embracing it. Yeah.
embracing it. Yeah, embracing it, because I mean, yes, for sure. I wouldn't want all these tattoos, but that's her. That's what she wants, then let her go do it. Because
Yeah.
when you start controlling your adult kids, it's when you start losing that relationship. And my mom tried to control me up to the day she died. And I mean, and she died a couple of years ago, and I didn't feel like, and I knew that I did not want to have that controlling relationship with my girls because it was like, I love you if you do this for me.
Yeah, like
And
there was a
so that's,
condition.
yeah,
Hmm.
and that's one of the things that we have to get away from as being a parent to adult children is we can't put those conditions on our love. We have to love them unconditionally, regardless of whatever choices they make. Even when people that are, and luckily I've not had to deal with this, people who deal with drug addictions and stuff like that in their family, they still show tough love and say, I love you, but I can't support this kind of lifestyle.
Oh, absolutely. And I love that because it makes people realize like we have to make our own mistakes.
Mhm.
We have to learn. We have to know what works for us and what doesn't. And when a parent goes, "Oh, I will love you if you do this," or only if you loved me, you would actually do this for me, like that's manipulation. At the end of the day, you're manipulating me to be a person that you want me to be without even accepting me for who I am. And I
Yep.
think that's one thing that your generation had done in the very beginning. You know what I mean? Like you, anybody who was born in the 70s knows dang well that you made your own mark in this world one way or another. Like you guys started the rebellion. You know what I mean?
Yep.
People who was born in the 70s, they started to rebel from this concept of tradition or do what I say or don't do or I damned you or all these things.
Uh-huh.
So it's like they can't be surprised when they have children and they do exactly the same thing because
Same.
you embodied that. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
that's one thing I told my mom. Like, how can you be mad at me for stepping my boundaries and placing my boundaries when you did that with your own mother? You know what I mean? I see that as a form of respect. If she couldn't respect what you said or what you did, then she wasn't in your life. So I can. You have to respect the fact that I'm doing the same thing too,
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, this is how I want to have my family, my
Yep.
life. This is how I want to live. So if you try to continue to manipulate me or control me to say that's how you need love, well then I don't need it then. You know what I mean? And then that's where it's hard for children that are now adults. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we're still someone's child. But at
Yep.
the same time, we still have a parent that still sees us as this child that was only 3 years old. You know what I mean? Like, oh my goodness, my dad. He still sees me as that little 6 year old that would run up to him and love him after he got out of work. And I'm just like, you can't hold on to that memory because that memory is only a memory. Because
Yep.
that memory faded as soon as you decided to walk out of that house and never come back. So because of
Mm.
that, my emotional attachment to you doesn't go to that. It goes to the fact
Yep.
that you left me. It goes to the fact that you never came back. It goes to the fact that all of those promises that you promised me, it never happened. And what you hold on to is what you want to hold on to, but it's not what I hold on to. And they're two different things. You know what I mean? And I don't think a lot of the times parents understand that. It's just like we lose something in us, you know what I mean, with those endless promises that are constantly broken. It really takes a toll on us where it's like we see you for who you are and we don't want that, so it's like it really changes the momentum and everything like that. So I have to ask you, what is the best part of parenting your adult child?
We hit on it earlier,
Oh,
friendship and being able to talk to them. And I mean, sometimes when all three of us get together, all four of us get together, my three girls and I, sometimes there are like we kind of clear the table of everything that we feel hurt by, and of course we have cry fest. But at the end, they know there's no judgment, that we still love them regardless of what's going on. Um, and just like I said, friendships, being able to go out and do things like today, my youngest daughter was like, I want to go to Greenville. I was like, well, I want to go with you too. She's like, okay, I'll wait till Friday to go when you can go with me. You know, that types of things where you can go and do things with your kids. I mean, 100%. I miss them being little. I miss them in teenagers. I miss them having them around all the time. And that's the thing that parenting adult children, you don't have your children with you all the time. And I miss that because there's some days where the house is pretty lonely. Especially when one moved all the way from North Carolina to California. And that broke my mama's heart, but I had to let her go because she was an adult. You know, what was I going to tell her? She can't go to California. That was going to cause
mhm.
hard feelings. And that's another thing is you've got to realize that if you want your relationship with your child to be good, there's some things that as an parenting an adult child that you have to walk back and you have to hold your mouth tight and not say because it's going to cause problems. And as soon as it's coming out of your mouth, it's going to cause a problem. Like, what if I told her, well, you can't go to California. I don't support you going to California. And, we would not have a relationship right now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame you. My mom did that. I mean, people did that. I mean, when I left Wisconsin and moved to Florida to do my own thing, oh my goodness, people would make rumors about me. They said that I was stripping, that I was selling my body, that that things would go so downhill. She wouldn't be able to make it. Like, why would she even do that? She's crazy. Like steering in things that were not even true. Like I had a great time. I experienced so much, and I experienced joy and pain, laughter and sadness. Like I experienced everything, but it helped me mold me to be the woman that I am away from my family. Because when I was in
Yep.
Florida, I had nobody. Like I literally had nobody, like no outlet, no nothing. I had to figure it out all by my own, and that helped me develop a part of me that's still a part of me. You know what I mean? This person that I didn't even knew was inside of me. And I think that's the only way that we can do it sometimes is away from family, is for that self-discovery. And I love that you gave your daughter that opportunity to just be
Yep.
like, listen, I have mixed feelings, but I still love you and I
Yep.
support you from a distance. You know what I mean? And the fact that you still supported your daughter and was like, "Listen, you can live with your boyfriend, but this is my ground rules. I ain't gonna pay for nothing. You want to play house and act grown? Well, then you're
Hmm.
gonna act
Yeah,
grown, take care of your
exactly.
bills, do what you got to do like a grown folk do. You know what I mean? Like I respect it because we have to be real when it comes to our children. And when we
Mhm.
constantly hover and manipulate or act like I still have this puppeteer mentality, it's not helpful for the child or for the adult, the
Nope.
parent, because you're instilling this idea that if I can manipulate somebody, then I'm winning. But in reality, that's not winning. That's fear. You know what I mean? In reality, that's fear, and you're scared, and you have no true understanding of who you are inside. So it just really shows, Melissa, like you are a strong woman. You know what I mean? You are a strong woman not only because you are a woman, but because you raised women. And my
Hmm.
mom, she had to raise me and my two other sisters. Like it was difficult for her. Like sometimes I'm like, now that I have my boys, I'm just like, how did you even deal with us? Like,
Yes.
so I mean, and I can only imagine that when your babies have babies, it's gonna create another bond, another appreciation, another value into your life that you don't even know because now my mom's a grandmother and she has my kids and my sister's kids and all of my nieces and nephews, and it really makes a difference because now she could see the kids and they're like, wow, yeah, they're just like you. That's how you acted too when you were a kid. Oh, you just act like your aunt. You know what I mean? You
Uh-huh.
have this understanding and this love. And earlier on, you talked about how you had to treat your youngest daughter a little bit more strict compared to your oldest daughter because when with your oldest child, you're learning along the way, but with your youngest child, it's like, yeah, I already been there, done that. It ain't gonna happen again. Like so
Uh-huh.
for me, it was so different how I was raised versus how my older sister was raised and my middle sister was raised. Like we all had a little different part of my mom in different avenues, and sometimes my older sister who doesn't see the value and all of the opportunities she had bestowed in front of her because I had nothing of that. You know what I mean? I had no opportunity. I had to literally do it all on my own because when it was my time, my mom either had no energy, no money, and no time and no affection, no nothing left. So I had to learn and to develop it all by myself. So I appreciate you just being so honest with your experience and your outlooks and your viewpoints with your children because it holds so much value so that other mothers that are listening can be like, you know what? I'm making it more complicated than what I have to be. And it doesn't have to be this complicated. So I always love having you, Melissa. Like, I love it. So time is catching up to us, but what can be some lasting words that you can leave us off with to keep thinking?
Um, I think the most important thing is trying to change your perspective and realizing that they're not the little babies. They don't need you every day, even though you want them to need you. sometimes you have to let them live their life. You have to let, like you said, let them make their own mistakes and let them know that you're here if they need you, but you're not going to try and get into all their business, because there have been some parents that I've seen that are literally in their business trying to control their kids. And I'm like, that is not great for, especially if you have an adult child that's married, because that's not great for their marriage either. Because when your mom did this or your dad did this, we're like, no, you got to stay out of it.
Yeah, most definitely knowing your place because not a lot of people just know they don't know their place at all. And I think just knowing your place allows you to recognize like that's not my responsibility. Like especially when your child becomes married and they have that family dynamic and they're starting to develop their family, then that's the most important time where it's like, hey, I could be your Google. You know what I mean? You can reach out to
Mhm.
me whenever you need advice, questions or concerns or just to vent. At least I'll be here for that. But to manipulate you, to control you, to tell you how what road to take, that's
Mhm.
not my place because only you
Yeah.
know where your road is and only you know what's going on in your relationship. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people forget that like your children's relationship is different from your relationship. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And it makes a big difference when you have a mother like you who supports you from a distance and supports you up close in both directions because it makes you feel loved. And then you can know you as a mother can know that if I were to die tomorrow, my babies are going to be great, well-rounded women and they're going to do great things and they're going to have a piece of me in them that even if I won't be able to see my grandbabies, they'll still know me because I live in my daughter's heart.
Yeah.
Like that is powerful. You know what I mean? And that is something that I tell my mother all the time. Like, hey, if I don't have any more kids, that's fine. But if I do, just know that you're still gonna live in my heart forever, no matter when it's your time and whenever God calls you to leave this earth. But know that I still love you. So I think that's truly, truly powerful. Thank you so much, Melissa. And ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this conversation, please go check out the other two conversations talking about cultural identity and diversifying and blending it in and lasting marriage. Oh my goodness, those two conversations were so empowering and so powerful that if you listen and you're gonna feel motivated, you're gonna get eager, you're gonna get ready to tackle on whatever that's going on in your life. So go check them out. The link is going to be in the description as well as the link to her website so that you can continue on thinking. And for all of those mamas out there that just needs that help or maybe some encouraging words or guidance or questions, check out Melissa. Hit her up. Send her a message. Oh, she has such an open heart. She won't deny you or push you away. So go ask her the questions that you may be having so that you can continue on thinking. Bye.